Listen, right? Young Thug being on that wiretap, his credibility is over with. His credibility is done, right? He's in the same now. He's in the same boat as 6ix9ine. Some would say Gunna, and a lot of others. He's definitely in the same boat with 6ix9ine. Given that type of saying that what he said on that wiretap tells you he's a rat. Shows you he's a rat. So everything that he was portraying, everything he was rapping about, everything he was standing on doesn't even matter. Your credibility level now is gone because you was on a wiretap giving up information about somebody that was rolling with you, that was down for you, to the authorities, to the people, right? So that means everything at this point doesn't even matter. It's like erased. And it's funny because I was just looking at a performance from Young Thug, right? I think he just had a performance not too long ago at some club or something, and the look on his face just didn't. I don't know what it was. I don't know what it was, but the look on his face was just like it almost looked like he knew this was going to come out. Like I don't like it was just a certain type of way he was looking, right? And I'm thinking to myself like, damn, maybe he's exhausted. Maybe he got a lot of things on his mind. You know what I mean? So I was just looking like, I didn't really give it a whole bunch of thought. But now I see why he probably was looking the way he was looking. And since has came out, y'all could go right along and put him in the same boat with 6ix9ine and plenty others. The code of keeping it real and standing tall and taking it on the chin. None of that shit matters. None of that never matters. None of that never ever matters at all, right? Because we see that when these type of situations come about, when these type of things happen, all of that stand up shit, all of that tough guy shit, all of that the G code, that shit goes right out the window. It's that shit goes right out the window when them people has put a chokehold on you and you get up in that room or you get in the back of that car and you get to talking. All of that goes right out the window. None of that shit even matter, right? Oh, my bad. But yeah, none of that matters. None of it. None of that shit matters at all. Period. Because we have seen time and time and time and time and time again that when they got you, they got you. And when they got you, you get to doing a lot of this. You get to talking. You know what I mean? Why he chose to get to talking like that, no lawyer present, it really behooves me. You know what I'm saying? It really makes you wonder. But the whole street code, the whole G code, that shit doesn't matter. And it's plenty others. It's plenty others. None of that shit even matter. You know what I mean? We have seen this ever since the streets was ever built. We could, from people telling, this has been going on for many decades, all the way going back to the 60s, 70s, the 80s, the 90s, the early 2000s, the mid 2000s, now up to now, right? Where certain guys, certain individuals come from certain organizations, certain criminal organizations that has told. Prime example, and not to go all the way back in history, but you've seen it with, for instance, for like who I could say, Nicky Barnes and Guy Fisher, right? Even though that was before a lot of us our time and stuff like that, but we done heard the story, seen the documentaries. But you seen it with, like I said, Nicky Barnes and Guy Fisher, where Nicky Barnes and Guy Fisher was, they was rocking with each other, right? They was had a lot of business in the street, had a lot of business they was doing, right? And you see Nicky go to prison and give up Guy Fisher. We seen it in the documentary. I think it was like 2 documentaries on Guy Fisher, a couple documentaries about Nicky Barnes. You know what I mean? These are the guys that was doing their things in the 70s, right? And he gives them up. Boom, ratted on him. Get Guy Fisher. I think Guy Fisher ended up with life, I believe, right? Give him up. We seen it with Alpo. You know what I mean? We seen it with Alpo where, he gives up Wayne Perry. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that was holding him down while he was in D.C. Dudes wanted to rob him, kill him, all type of stuff. Holding him down, he gives Wayne Perry up. Right? We seen it with the whole 6ix9ine situation, where the trays, the blood, you know what I mean? Them dudes was holding him down. His time of need, what did he do? He gets on the stand and give up a lot of people. So time and time again, we seen the streets doesn't have no. The streets is not thorough, meaning the people that runs in the streets, that's a part of the streets, that's part of the criminal activity or whatever, it's no thorough. Niggas is not thorough. Niggas is not stand-up guys. How is you a stand-up guy when it's all good and the money is flowing, bitches is around, niggas popping all type of bottles, jewelry, and this and that. But when them people get a hold to you, you know what I'm saying? People, you begin to speak on certain things, and you look at it like, you look at it like, damn. A lot of these dudes is really not thorough. A lot of these dudes is, you know what I mean? Because when you in those interrogation rooms and when your back against the wall, a lot of people begin to talk. A lot of people begin to speak on their associates, meaning the people that they're running with, because you would think, oh, they're friends, they're cool, but how it can't be, because soon as when you get in that room, soon as when they get to ask you questions, you giving your name dropping, you giving up people, you're writing statements, your name is in paperwork, right? So it makes you wonder, like, damn, well, the streets never been good for anybody. And the old saying, the streets is not for everybody. We have heard that, right? Where people say, oh, the streets is not for everybody. Maybe you should stay on the sidewalk. Oh, the streets is not for you. You know what I'm saying? You couldn't be a part of this. And from what I'm seeing now, the streets ain't for nobody. You know what I mean? The streets is not for nobody. Zero. The streets is not for nobody. Point blank, period. Because why? Because we have seen this from time and time and time again. And I'm just sitting back looking like, damn, and I'm looking at the history of people all the way down the ladder, right? from the old dudes from back in the day, from the dudes from the 80s, from the 90s, from the set. You know what I mean? Somewhere along the line, in every group, from the 70s to the 80s to the 90s, early 2000s, mid 2000s, even shit, maybe even the 60s, right? We have seen people in these organizations, part of the streets, get to telling on groups of people, large groups of people, where it's either their homeboy they was with, or I mean that was rolling with them. They're telling on people from other organizations, criminal organizations, where they're giving up people. Um, they're in there telling some of it might be something they're speaking on that the feds or the the feds or the prosecutor or the detectives don't even know about. Oh well, let me tell you about this time and so this day, and they like, damn, for real? Oh damn, that was oh yeah, okay, yeah. So we have seen this time and time and time and time again. So when you look at the streets, it's like the streets is really not for nobody, because it's more history of niggas telling. It's more history of niggas telling than it is people being stand up individuals, right? It's more history of people um, giving up people and name dropping than it is stand up individuals, right? When them people got you, they got you. And then it's like, if you are willing to give up people, then it's you should have never been involved in the streets anyway. But once again, we have seen this time and time again. We have seen people get up on a stand, name drop. We have seen people write statements, give up statements. We have heard people on wiretaps. Um, time and time and time again. We have seen this over and over again. We have. So it's like the streets don't mean nobody good. They don't. The streets doesn't mean nobody good at all, because how we rolling together all this time, whether it's 5 years, 10 years, 15, 3 years, 4 years, whatever, right? And then soon something happens, boom, you ready to give it all up. Or your name dropping, you ready to, you ready to become a FBI informant, you ready to, you know what I mean? So when you look at the streets and when you go through the history and when you go through the time period, the streets don't mean shit. Think about it. And you know what I'm saying? It's not nothing. This is the more so of the facts versus how I feel. You know what I mean? Look at the facts. Look at the timeline. Look at all the people that has gathered money from the streets, whether it was the streets and it became entertainment, or meaning they got into like the entertainment business, rap, whatever, or they was just solely in the streets, because the dudes from back in the day, it wasn't thinking about no goddamn music. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they didn't listen to it and went to shows and concerts, but they didn't. It's more people. It's more people that's in the entertainment business now versus how it was back then. Back then, it was just dudes all the way full fledged in the streets. There wasn't no entertainment, nothing like that. Meaning, like, it was always been, of course, we know, entertainment, of course, but if you was in the streets, you was in the streets all the way. A lot of people back then didn't go from being full fledged in the streets and then get in the entertainment business, but it's probably been more rats than anything. It's honestly, it's been more rats than anything. It's been more rats in the entertainment um, business, meaning, you know what I mean, than it actually probably been it than any other time frame. You know what I'm saying? So meaning that it's been way more rats overall than dudes is saying they're stand up individuals. Is basically what I'm trying to say. Like it's way more rats than it's actual stand up individuals. You know what I mean? It's way more rats. Point blank period. Some might not wanna admit that. Some might not wanna believe that, but just look at the time frame. You know what I mean? Look at the history of the streets, and you will see more people giving up people, more people becoming informants than is actual stand up individuals. So if that's the case, then it's bad to even, I would not say bad, but the whole I'm solid and I'm I'm standing on all 10. That's a little bit more far fetched from the truth. The truth of the matter is that a lot of these niggas is really busters. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these niggas is really rats for real. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these niggas get into the streets, and then when the heat is on their back, they get to telling. They begin to give up individuals. They begin to tell on people from other organizations. They begin to they begin to cooperate. So if you're in the streets and you somewhere in your mind know you probably gonna give up somebody, why even get involved with it? And like I said, the streets is really for nobody, because the outcome is, we know the outcome, you know what I mean? But if you're gonna play in the streets and be a part of the streets, you have more people that has told than anything. You got more people that has given up people left and right all the time. You know what I mean? You have had people that give up people left and right more than them saying they're stand up individuals. Like I said, you could go back, and it's so many people, but the one I keep going back to is Nicky Barnes and Guy Fisher, even though that was because these dudes was intercept. They was so close and so tied in to each other, and you see them give them up, and and I'm just putting the big names out there, but it's a lot of people. It's a whole lot of people, and it's probably more people. It's probably more rats than we know, and it definitely is. It's way more rats, and only the ones that we know about is the big ones. You know what I'm saying? Like the Alpos, the people like Nicky Barnes, and people from back in the '80s and YBI, and you know what I mean. Like it's way more rats. You know what I mean? The ones that's, I could put it, the ones that's showcases the ones that is more um, in the forefront. You know what I mean? Like everybody know who Young Thug is. If everybody know who Al Poe is. Everybody know these certain individuals, but it's way few and far in between. So it's way more rats than it is actual stand-up individuals. It's way more rats than it is stand-up individuals. Way more. like it's way more rats than anything. So the streets is not for nobody. The streets, when you got niggas that have told in every organization. Or if they wasn't, even if they was by themselves, they have told on the plug or they have told something. You know what I'm saying? They have given up something in some criminal organization. They have given up somebody along the line, along the way, shall I say? So we have seen it's been more rats in the world than anything. It's been more rats than anything, more than anything. So, Thug saying what he said is really not surprising. It's surprising me because a lot of people thought he was sticking to the G code or the street code, and to be on a wiretap and give up information. This is why he was never really fully upset with Gunna. Think about it, right? When Gunna went in there and said, yeah, YSL is a gang and they need to be stopped. Now it all makes sense, right? Because if Gunna said that, who is you to really get hostile or, you know what I'm saying, get on some macho man shit, you feel me? When you already know in your mind, well, not even in your mind, you already know that you have given up, they got you on wiretap saying this. So it's like somebody, like, for example, it's like, why, like, it's like somebody that goes in the store and steal, right? And at this particular store that they done stole that, you have stole time and time again, right? So it's like, who is you to say, oh man, you can't, who is you to say anything when you know, damn, I don't went and did the same shit. I done went in this store and stole this and took that. You get what I'm saying? I'm just using that as an example. So for him not to really, and he done said little stuff about Gunna and stuff like that, music and stuff like that, right? But it's like, who is you to say anything about Gunna when you didn't, at this point, he didn't say more shit than Gunna has said. So there's no reason for him to get mad or upset with Gunna. That's why he has just throw little jabs here and there, because it all coming to the forefront. It's all making sense. It's like, damn, and I'm quite sure I'm not the only one that has thought this. Like, damn, well, we see why he never really fully said something about Gunna. But I'm wondering what Lil Baby and his compadres and, you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying, his whole team or the people that was still rocking with Thug is thinking now. You know, and you know, him and Lil Baby is like that. I wonder what Future saying. But all of this ratting and entertainment, it almost kind of like goes hand in hand now, if you think about it. You know, it's kind of like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. You can't go wrong, right? So it's like, this shit is starting to go hand in hand. You know what I mean? The streets is dead. I feel like at this point in time now, the streets was never alive. It's never been alive. Has it been a lot of niggas get money out the streets? Of course. Has it been niggas that done really well and, you know, took their street money and turned it into clean money? Of course. Has it been people really, really making money in the streets? Yes. But when it comes down to the nitty gritty of this shit, it's been a lot of niggas that has told. And that's just what it is. And a lot of niggas might not want to believe it, hear it. Man, there's been a lot of niggas that told. Hands down, from every organization. And we could go through all of them. You know what I'm saying? It's been niggas that has told in every organization. Every organization has been a group of niggas. Not all. I'm not going to say all. But, because, you know, the little small fries don't matter. You know what I'm saying? But in every organization, it's been a person or more, or a person or better, that has told or given up some type of information. Every organization has been a nigga that told. Hands down, it's always been a nigga that has told. Point blank, period. Point blank, period, has been a nigga that has told. In every organization. Doesn't matter what time frame, it don't, from the 70s, the 80s, 2000s, the 90s. Every organization has been a group of niggas, either, well, not even a group. It's been either an individual or a few individuals that have given up statements or wiretap. Everyone. Now you have to ask yourself, damn, the streets was never really about shit. Nothing. You know what I'm saying? I have seen people that I know personally, that family wise, that has had a better run just living a righteous life versus the streets. Because the streets, we have seen this time and time again. Niggas be busters, niggas be rats, niggas have given up statements, niggas done wear wiretaps, niggas done told, niggas done rolled on the whole crew. So it's like, damn, is the street shit really worth it? Is it really, really worth it? I've seen people who have regular jobs that have a better living or a better outcome versus a nigga that's in the streets that's getting all the money and got all the notoriety and probably was on some buster shit the whole time. I have seen it. I have witnessed it. We have watched it through documentaries. You know what I'm saying? It's just crazy. You know what I mean? Like, I have seen it time and time again. I have been around it. Like, I have watched my cousin make plenty of money. Plenty of money. Plenty. So, I have seen this time and time again. But like, share, and subscribe to the channel at Tay Luciano Media. I'm out.